Chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the distinction between the field and the knower of the field. The battlefield still waits. The corn cells have already sunk. The armies remain facing one another. Yet, Krishna continues teaching. The war has become almost secondary because Arjuna's greatest battle is no longer outside him, it is within. Arjuna has listened to Krishna speak about action, knowledge, meditation, devotion, the universal form. Now, another question arises. He asks, Krishna, please help me understand what is the body? Who truly am I? What is knowledge? And what is it that should be knowing? Krishna looks at Arjuna with affection. He begins with something simple. He says, Arjuna, this body is called the kshetra, the field. Imagine a farmer standing in a field. Sometimes the field is green, sometimes it is dry, sometimes flowers bloom, sometimes weeds appear. The field keeps changing. Krishna says, your body is like that field. It grows, it changes, it experiences pleasure, it experiences pain, it is born, it ages. One day, it returns to the earth. Then Krishna says something even deeper. The one who knows the field is called the Kshetrajna, the knower of the field. The body can be observed, thoughts can be observed, emotions can be observed, even memories can be observed. So Krishna gently asks Arjuna to notice who is the one observing all of this. That silent awareness, that witnessing presence, that is the knower. Then Krishna expands the teaching. He says, know that I am also the knower present in all beings. The same divine presence quietly shines in every heart, not only in kings, not only in sages, not only in saints, but in every living being. Krishna now begins describing the field itself. He says, the field includes the five great elements earth, water, fire, air, space. It also includes the mind, the intellect, the ego, the senses, their objects, desire, aversion, pleasure, pain, the body itself, birth, growth, decay. Everything that constantly changes belongs to the field. Arjuna listens carefully. For the first time, he begins separating the changing from the unchanging. Then Krishna says something unexpected. Arjuna had asked, what is knowledge? Perhaps he expected a list of scriptures or philosophical ideas. Instead, Krishna describes qualities. He says, true knowledge begins with humility, freedom from pride, non-violence, patience, simplicity, respect for one's teacher, purity, self-control, steadiness, detachment from excessive attachment, awareness that birth, old age, illness, and death are part of worldly existence, equal mindedness in pleasant and unpleasant situations, love for solitude, a sincere desire to know the truth. Krishna pauses, then says something remarkable. Everything opposite to these qualities is ignorance. Arjuna realizes knowledge is not merely collecting information. Knowledge transforms the person who receives it. Then Krishna speaks about what is to be known. He describes the supreme reality. It has no beginning, it has no end. It is beyond ordinary description. It is everywhere. It has hands everywhere, feet everywhere, eyes everywhere, ears everywhere, because it is present in all beings. It appears to support everything, yet remains untouched. It is beyond darkness. It is the source of all light. It lives in the heart of every creature, quietly, constantly, without ever forcing itself upon anyone. Krishna then explains something beautiful. Nature performs actions, the body acts, the senses experience, the mind thinks, but the self remains the witness. Like the sun shining upon everything, yet untouched by what it illuminates. Like space present everywhere, yet unstained by whatever happens within it. As Krishna speaks, Arjuna's understanding deepens. He no longer sees himself as only a warrior, or only a body, or only a mind. He begins seeing himself as something far more enduring. The chapter closes with Krishna saying, those who truly understand the difference between the field and the knower of the field, and who recognize the divine presence within all the beings, gradually become free. The battlefield still waits. Nothing outside has changed, but within Arjuna, a quiet clarity has begun to bloom. He is slowly discovering that while life continues to change around him, there is something within him that remains steady, aware, and untouched. Chapter 13. Know the difference between what changes and the one who quietly witnesses every change. I think this chapter marks another turning point in the Gita. Until now, Krishna has been helping Arjuna answer the question, how should I live? In chapter 13, he asks an even deeper question. Before you decide how to live, do you truly know who you are? And that question gently prepares the way for the remaining chapters of the Bhagavad Gita.